things that I would want to distribute, and then I am Mayank Bisht. I am a graduate from the National Institute of Fashion Technology, New Delhi, in accessory design, and now I am a furniture design student in the NID Ahmedabad. To just begin with, I would talk about some inspirations, and I would take you on to this very specific project which I did, which will reflect to my way of working, the design process that I followed, and to what levels I got inspired and finally converted that inspiration into a final tangible product. Yeah, if you talk about inspiration at one level can just be formed. So when you see this product, the designer probably just took an inspiration from the form of a splash and came up with a beautiful product. It cannot go more deeper than this here in this product. Whereas, when you talk about this inspiration, the very extremely loud clap sound when a Japanese bullet train would enter the station, it got solved when these designers, they took inspiration from a kingfisher's beak, which actually dived seamlessly into the water. So here it is more about, it's more about the functional bit of it. Inspirations could be obvious. Well, in this case, where a calla lily, the curves of it are taken and they're modified directly to a blender where it actually aids in churning in a less power. So it's very efficient that way. Or it could be really subtle, where you look at these muscles and the way they stick themselves to the rocks. That you cannot imagine that had something to do with the whole range of plywood and related products. They related the same adhesive properties into making the product. When I got inspired, the when and the how. So it was during this experimentation with various design fields in NIFT, where I came across a project which was actually very different from what I was doing. I was a lifestyle accessory designer, and it was essentially a space design, a reuse plan for the heritage building. So a bit more information about the project. Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, to be specific, they had a heritage building, a World War II construction. So they wanted a reuse plan for the building. And as a team, in the initial stages of the building, we proposed a reuse plan where we converted the whole building into a big art community, where they would showcase newer and modern arts and things like that. And also it had their own museum space, their own shops and everything. Now this project, my specific role was to develop shelter structures individually, which then became my diploma project for NIFT final graduation. And yeah. So now when I look back at this project, there are 1,000 improvisations, 1,000 little things that I would want to change about it. But till now, till date, it's truly been a project which stands up for my patience, my passion and thinking and adaptability. Because it was something that I was not used to do, and it posed challenges to me at every level. The thing that is different about this project, it's a design project, but it's very art driven because the client being IGNCA. Now IGNCA, how they define arts, being the patrons of art, they define arts as something which is a manifestation of nature, human and universe. So when I was asked to design the structures, I was actually looking for some inspiration that would connect the all three. So it was a very difficult thing to do, and I was reading a lot about how well I could connect it. So there was this whole journey of how I came to the inspiration and then how I derived inspiration from it. So I called this the fingerprints of the cosmos, which is what I was looking for. When I was reading, when I was observing a lot around me, I came to realize that the universe was actually speaking to us in patterns. And everything around us, they express this cosmic character in every aspect of their manifestations, regardless of scale. So these pictures, they tell you a galaxy, a tornado, and the extreme and intercellular structure. They all exhibit this similarity in the structure. The eyes traced it with pleasure. So now, the whole view of the world for me was, it was getting a little different in a way that, for some it would just look like a, field with a lot of sunflowers. I was zooming into things. This is what I was doing. So I was tracing patterns with things. I realized that, things that look chaotic were actually not, and there was a very strong sense of order about it. Us, nature and man. And I saw clarity in chaos finally after 2 months of deciphering what it was, and it was fractal. So also I present to you the whole concept of fractals. A lot of people consciously and unconsciously, they would know about it, but not technically, and not never been told about it. So what is a fractal? Fractals are basically geometric figures. They are generated by applying a very simple set of rules to them. The first character of a fractal, they divide. I've given you a few specimens of the things there. So if you could take up the cauliflower in your hand and you just break it into two, or in any size. What you are holding in your hand is actually a full cauliflower, just smaller in size. It is nothing different than a bigger piece of the cauliflower. Also a leaf that I've given you. You can see the levels and the divisions. It's just the same. It's just the same. It's just zooming in and zooming out of the thing. Fractals, they repeat. So these pictures, they show how a similar unit, when repeated or scaled down, it reveals a fractal nature of the thing. And these are self-sustaining structures which are formed naturally in nature in a lot of things. Fractals, they show self-similarity. Now this is a fern. This is the bigger one fern branch. When you actually go to a smaller unit, it's actually the same. And the smallest unit, it's again the same. So they were quite fascinating. Now I move on to my final inspirations and my derivation of my structures from the same. The first, I took geometry of form, and the inspiration was a Romanesque broccoli. Now this is what it looks like. What I did was, I took a node the node of a broccoli as an inspiration, and I tried to trace a pattern there somehow. So of what I could make out was this twisting line which goes inside till infinity. So this is what finally got approved and also finalized by me. It's a 15 meter by 15 meter structure. It's huge. It's in metal pipes. So this is the inspiration. That is the derivation. Second was geometry of function. Now I took branching of trees. So very fascinating how the way they divide. I made a lot of fractals. You cannot see, but I took a hexagonal branching pattern where every level it divides into 6. This is something I came up with. Very sturdy form, very structurally stable. All the weight is in the center, and you utilize only 3 pipes, and you have an extensive, very nice looking structure. Third was geometry of arrangement. I took inspiration from the fractal of a sunflower, where this was what I was looking for, the geometry. I was looking at ways through which I could derive the geometry. What I thought was a drop shape which is pivoted at a point gives the same. But then it came to my mind that a line which is rotated around the center means the same thing. This very simple concept, it was translated by me into 3D, where there is this metallic ring with these rods at different levels. So the fractal which is being formed here is actually an illusion. You can see the fractal being made, although it is not being. It's a very paradoxical concept where simple is actually very complex and complex is actually very simple. And I wish I was successful enough to change your perception about things which are around you. It'll be very great if you now move out of the hall after the presentations get over and you're actually tracing things, in plants and in clouds and everything. It's very important for us designers now to know what part we are playing the part of creators here, and it's very important for us to understand the repercussions of our work. And the current tradition of inquiry and action does not give support to that. So it is very important for us to have reflective thinking, productive actions, and very equally important responsible follow-up. A design culture, it needs to be broad in scope and deep in meaning, and here in this project, probably a person who's seeing these structures doesn't even know what has gone inside it, but to me I was very assured and confident of what I have done. It had a story to it. Fractals, they talk about sustainable models and resourceful techniques, because if you look at a spider's web, it boasts of very lightweight, sturdy tensile construction, and a leaf is an excellent distribution system. So the applications are so varied. Studies in city morphology and to know the evolving pattern, it has revealed it is all fractals. So as designers, we can take this in 1,000 other ways, and really it can be beautiful, it can be sustainable in a lot of levels. This is the natural occurring fractals which I sourced from BBC documentaries, just for you to see and think. you.